Hello and welcome to the evoIndia YouTube channel and welcome to the 2025 Auto Expo. Suzuki has kicked things off with 3 new products for 2025, starting with the eAccess, also marking its entry into the electric space. Then you have the updated for 2025 Access 125 and the Gixxer 250 SF Flex Fuel. Now let me get into more detail and tell you about all of these products. Now let's kick things off with the eAccess. Now this is Suzuki's first electric product for India. It's not launched yet, but it's expected to launch very soon. Now the overall design of the scooter is very similar to that of the Access, but it does have an own identity of its own and it is very quintessentially Suzuki. Now coming to the meat of the matter, this is powered by a 3.07 kilowatt hour LFP battery. That's not something you see very often on these scooters, and that sends power to a 4.1 kilowatt hour motor. That's your power output, and it also makes 15 newton meters of peak torque. Now coming to the performance of this scooter, this has a claimed 71 kilometers per hour top speed and a range of 95 kilometers on a full charge. Now we have to verify these things by riding the scooter, but that's what the numbers Suzuki tells us right now. In terms of features, you get ride modes. You have this LCD color screen. You can access your ride modes from here. It's also keyless, so that is pretty handy. Now the switch gear and all of that is very typically quintessentially Suzuki. Now in terms of charging, Suzuki claims around 6 hours and 40 minutes for a full charge from 0 to 100 with your regular portable charger, and around 2 hours and 12 minutes is what it should take if you're using the fast charger. Now let's move on to the next product, which is the Gixxer 250 SF Flex Fuel. Now this is the new Gixxer 250 SF Flex Fuel. Now I say new because it's got a lot going on the inside, but on the outside it looks fairly similar to the 250 SF that we know and love. Now on the inside, the engine has been heavily updated. There's new internals to make sure that this is flex fuel compatible up to an 85% of ethanol blend in the fuel. Now to that end, this makes around 27.4 bhp when you're running E85 fuel and around 26.6 bhp when you're running up to E20 fuel. Now the torque output stands at 22.5 newton meters. Now apart from that, there's not much new on this motorcycle. Suzuki does tell us that it has a bit more of an enhanced connected feature setup, but that is again things that we can verify once we ride the product. But apart from that, prices for this start at rupees 2.16 lakh, which is quite exciting to see that you have a flex fuel compatible product in this segment. Now let's talk about the new Access 125. And finally, we have the new Access 125. Now as you can see, this is a facelift over the pre-existing model, very similar to the model it replaces, but the styling has become a little more boxy. All the light signatures are a little more boxy by shape. The overall silhouette remains very similar, the very similar newer but retro vibe that the Access had become a few years back. Now in terms of the internals, the 125cc engine is OBD2B compliant and it is also Euro 5 Plus compliant. In terms of power and torque outputs, you have 8.3 bhp and 10.2 newton meters of torque. Suzuki also tells us that the scooter is more efficient by 1.4%. How much that actually happens and how much that impacts in the real world is something we have yet to find out. There's also a 24.5 litre boot, and prices for this model start at rupees 81,000 ex-showroom. Now what do you think about the entire lineup at Suzuki? Do let us know in the comment section down below, and which one would you pick? Also let us know, and thank you for watching. Got him zoned out of